What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk a little bit about everything. It may be pop culture related, but it's probably Ash Brown related. So you got to stay tuned to see what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so this is a continuation about the last one where I talked about Vicky was right. Vicky was absolutely right. Okay. But on this one, I want to talk about how our high school set us up for the ultimate. Just set us up. Okay. So in Georgia, we had this thing called the Georgia High School Graduation Test. And our high school for a whole week said that they were going to pre-test us. And it was going to be a practice test. And it wasn't going to mean anything. And it wasn't going to be recorded. And it was just something to do so that we could get familiar with what to expect for this Georgia high school graduation test. Now, understand, I don't know what the standards are now, but at that particular time, if you did not pass the Georgia high school graduation test, you could not graduate from high school in the state of Georgia. And that was real. So keep in mind, we're in school, we're already stressed, we've got extracurricular stuff going on, there's just so much going on in life. And we take this test, we had a lot of substitutes, I remember, like the main teachers that were for different subjects, weren't even there. I don't know what the situation was, they weren't there, and we had a whole bunch of substitutes that were administering this practice test, right? This is a faux test. A fall test, right? And so we take this test, we spend the whole week, we're really just playing around because it's not a serious test. It's giving us a feel of what the actual test will be, but it's not the real test. So who cares? Who cares? Who really gives a crap? So from my knowledge, I was already stressed about, grades and all that stuff. I was always stressing about school just because I knew that my mother held very high standards for me and for my siblings. So I had to come correct because I didn't want to have to leave the school system that I was in to go to another one that I really was not feeling. So I was always trying to keep my grades up. And I just really didn't want to be stressed that week. Like with a lot of us, we were just going through, teenage things and just wasn't feeling like taking this unnecessary fake test that doesn't mean anything, that they're telling us, oh, it's just so that, you can kind of know what the real test will be. So we take the test. Nobody takes it serious, y'all. Nobody takes it serious. We are just shooting the shit. And we just let things go. So a whole week, we test. We don't take it serious. It's over. It's gone. We pretty much forget about it. I don't even think that they gave us the scores or what we measured on everything. It's just we took the test, we turned it in, and that was it. So probably months go by. We've forgotten about it. We're on to the next thing. Life is going on. And one day, I go home, I check the mailbox, and there is a letter from my high school. And I don't know what the heck it is. I am freaking out because it's not time for finals. These are not final grades. What could this be? I didn't do anything. I was a good kid for the most part. Didn't do anything. I was like, what the heck? So I called Vicky. So I'm like, Vic, what is going on, Pippin? And she's like, yo, I got the same letter. What is this? I was like, oh, snap. All right, look, we got to do like we usually do. So, we hold it up to light and we're looking at it and we're seeing that it's the scoring of the practice Georgia high school graduation test. And we about freak out because we didn't do well. We did not do well because we weren't trying to do well. We weren't taking it serious. Nobody was. You tell a group of teenagers, oh, well, you just got to take this thing just because, we just got to mark it that you actually did it. And that's it. Of course, they're not going to take it serious. Why would they? So, I don't know what exactly happened, but somehow our parents were aware that the scores were sent home. So, there wasn't a way for us to destroy the evidence prior to. And I certainly didn't want my mom coming up to the school and asking for those horrendous scores. So, I took the punishment and she ripped me a new one. Because again, in her mind, this is something official coming from the school. What do you mean it was a practice? Nothing on here says practice. This score is, you're not applying yourself. Like, it gave me the whole 9 yards. And I'm fairly confident Vicky got a similar type of speech from her mama. And so the next day at school, everybody is long faced because this was the biggest bamboozle. This was the worst that y'all could have did to us. This is terrible. So that I will never forget how they screwed us over in doing that practice test like that. So yeah, when it was time for the real test, obviously we took it serious. But you don't tell no teenagers, oh, it don't matter. Just sign the paperwork and get it over with and turn in your papers and all that. Did not take it serious. That was wild. Okay. I think I am going to end on this because I can get a little long-winded. These stories with Vicky, they're kind of lengthy. They're kind of lengthy, and I want to make sure that y'all get the full extent of it. And, so there's that. So anyways, I hope that you guys have a fantabulous, a wonderful, a beautiful, a purposeful, a positive week ahead. And keep pushing forward, no matter what. No matter what people tell you or whatever the case is, you do you. And be happy at that. So, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Have a great one. Bye.